Hi and welcome to Edwards Motorhomes. Today we're going to do a handover video for you on this 2019 plated Auto Trail Apache 632. Really hope you find it informative. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on the outside and work our way in. So the first thing to show you, bonnet release is just here. And your toolkit is just underneath the passenger seat. Next thing is your key. Now with your key, you'll see, press the top there, ignition key comes out. Top button will unlock your cab doors. Bottom button will unlock your habitation door. Middle button locks everything. It will also pop your step back in. If I press the unlock now for the habitation door, step will come back out. Then of course we have your fuel filler point here, which again works off your ignition key, straight into there. Gas locker, just here, which will take 2 bottles. Next is your cassette toilet. So with the cassette, to start off with, the toilet itself will have a blade, will open and close the toilet. And to do that, there's a grey handle underneath. Now, for obvious reasons, the toilet must be closed for you to be able to take the cassette out. And what you do is just lift up here and pull out. Now, every site should have what they call an Alson point, which is where you dispose of your waste. So you unclip the handle, it's on wheels, so you roll that to the Alson point. When you get back, take the top off, you press the orange button to pour away into the Alson point, flush through with the hose, pour away again. New chemical goes directly into the cassette. You don't want to put it down your toilet, it's very strong and it will stain. For this purposes, you want to be using either the blue chemical or the green. Pink is something that is just for mainly caravans. You do find it on some motorhomes, but that's if you have a header tank. With this particular vehicle, the water will come directly from the fresh water tank. Other thing to remember is you want to be using either camping toilet paper or cheaper toilet paper. What you don't want is triple quilted, that type of thing. Chemicals are very strong and they're very good, but it won't break that sort of stuff down, so you end up with a big ball of mess in there. That's really not a pleasant job to clean out. Next, we have your outside barbecue point, just here. And of course, the garage. Now the garage has access on either side. You do have a hatch in there as well, which would take you back into the habitation area. When we come around the rear, you have the full-size spare with reversing camera above, and of course this particular vehicle also has a tow bar fitted. As we go round, again, we have the other access point for your garage just here. Flue for your heating, just there. And here we have the drain for your fresh water tank. Here is your water filler. You pop your hose in and you fill up your water tank from there. We have your fridge vents here and up there. Just here, this is your outdoor shower point. So your shower just locks onto there. And of course we have another storage locker just here. Wastewater drain just there, and again you've just got to tap on it, you open it up. Again, most campsites will have a grid that you can go over, open it up and it'll just drain down from there. And then of course we've got your electric hookup point just here. You do need to press the little blue catch to release. Let's take a look inside.
So as we move on to the cab, we've got electric front windows, we've got your wing mirror controls just here. As we move from right to left, we've got headlight height adjustment, we have wipers, lights and indicators and cruise control, along with steering wheel controls, which work for your Bluetooth telephone this side, and then on here control the radio, some volume controls and such like. This particular van has got a 6-speed manual gearbox. We've got traction plus, hill descent, we've got your heated mirrors. As we move up, you'll see we've got your heated controls for your cab, and also this particular one, your aircon button. Your media head unit, it's got nav on here, so we've got nav, If we go to radio, we've got DAB, FM and AM stereo. We've got a CD player just at the top as well, which is handy. And then just above, we have your tablet, phone or map holder. Just by pulling down on here, you can open it up and obviously put it to any height that you need for whatever you pop in there. To pop it back down, just close those in. Make sure you do push that in, otherwise it will snap when you push it back down. Moving further across, we've got your USB and a 12 volt socket here, and also just down here we have an aux point and another USB. In here we have almost a little cool box, so if you've got your aircon on, you can put a bottle of water in there and that'll keep it nice and cool. The other important thing, we also have blinds. And all you need to do is pinch just here, bring it across, lead from the bottom. There's a little magnetic strip just there, that'll make it clasp into place. When you bring it back, just use two hands, just guide the top back into place and then clip it in. Windscreen works a very similar way. So you just bring that to the centre and just they magnetise together there. It's always worth hairband or an elastic band just to pop round here, because there have been unfortunate cases where these have popped open and people are just getting changed in the van. That's your cab. So next up we've got seats and beds. To start off with, this passenger seat here, along with the driver's seat, has this little catch just down here. All you need to do is move that outwards and you can twist round. You can twist it a full 180 from front to back if you remove this table. Now, you do also, on the side just here, have some height adjustment, which we'll show for you now, and it works on a rocker system. So if you were to remove that table, you would be able to flip this chair right the way around and use it almost as an extension piece for when you've got your feet up watching the TV. As we're on about these two chairs, they do come together and they make a bed, like so. Really easy to do. You just pull out like so, drop the cushions down accordingly, and there we have a decent size sort of 3/4 bed, really, I suppose. Watch is going off telling me how to do it. So from here we will move on to the back part. All you need to do is push those in. There we are. So bedroom at the back. So you have a nice separation curtain just to keep it private, so if you do have guests, so you're staying in the front, you've still got some privacy. We have access down into the garage just here. Ideal if you've got a dog, maybe stay in there as a kennel. You've also got your control for your boiler just there as well, but we'll move on to that later. My colleague will come round here. You'll see we've got light switches on the one side to the right, and to the left we have a 230 volt socket.
Okay, so next we come to your entertainment system in the way of your TV and your satellite. So with your TV, you have two catches to drop it down. There's one at the back, just here, which you need to pull out. And then you have another catch at the front to unclip, and then you just drop it down. Now on top, you have a switch. So at the moment you can see there's no light on there. Flick the switch on, it'll go on to standby. Now on the underneath of the TV, you have your TV controls, but obviously you would also have a remote. When you press the button on the remote, that will turn blue and you can start tuning in. Now with the tuning on this particular van, you have a satellite system which works from here. Now to turn it on, you flick that switch there. Now you'll see it's on Astra 2. Everything for the UK will work on Astra 2, so as long as you've got it on 2, you shouldn't need to keep reprogramming. So to put the satellite up, we're just going to press this button for a second and release. Now Tony will go outside and he'll show you this popping up. Now, I'll be honest with you, we don't get a very good signal in here in the showroom, so what it's going to do is it's just going to keep tracking around what it's trying to find the signal. If it would do, it would actually just stop flashing there and it will sit in position. You'll just be able to pick up your channels. Now, when you come to drop the satellite system down, you press this button, keep your finger on it, and it will then drop. Now, obviously, when you're traveling, this must be in the down position. The last thing you want to do is for that to catch the wind and come flying off. It is a very expensive piece of equipment. When it's dropped itself back down, just flick the power switch back off, and there we have your satellite system. So next we come to your kitchen. So the first thing, of course, is we have your sink just here. We have this piece of chopping board that comes away. So you have your drainer just there. Microwave, which plugs in just around the corner here. Of course, that will only work when you're plugged into 230 volt, as it works through a 3-pin 230 volt socket. Then we have your oven. Now, with your oven, as you can see, you've got 3 gas hobs and 1 electric hot plate. Again, great if you're plugged into the mains, because then you can be running off their electric rather than your gas. We also have a gas grill and a gas oven just here. Next, we have your standalone table, which lives just in this cupboard here. And of course, you have got good storage just in here and of course above. Then we come on to your 3-way fridge freezer. Now, to turn your 3-way fridge freezer on, you turn on just there. Then you get to pick what you're going to be working from. So if you press this button and keep your finger on, you'll see the icon start to flash. So you can pick electric, battery, gas, again, back round to electric. Press the button and then you can pick your temperature, so how cold you want it. So, going back to the main controls. So basically what you have there is you have a choice: electric, gas and battery. Now, the mistake a lot of people will make to start off with is battery, because you would assume battery means leisure battery. It doesn't. It means vehicle battery, which means the engine must be running for you to put it on battery power. Obviously with gas, great if you're wild camping, and if you're plugged into the mains, you would run it on electric.
Okay, so wardrobe space is superb. It's nicely lit as well. Mood lighting in the wardrobe. Just below, we have really good shelving space, which, as you can see, isn't lit. Move on to the bathroom. So, Andy was obviously on about earlier with the grey handle. So, you can move the top of the seat, okay, to get into the most comfortable position. Lift the lid, and you'll just see in there, currently the blade is closed, and that was how Andy was able to take out the cassette toilet. Slide the grey handle, that opens up the blade, so you can now do your business. Once you're finished, close it back up, keeps any bad smells away. Just on the back, you've got your flush here for the toilet, which works off the fresh water tank. This here will light up red once full. As you'll see, we have a sink and your shower, both hot and cold.
So next we come to your 12 volt control panel and your heating system. Now, your 12 volt control panel is a touchscreen system, so if you press on, it'll come on automatically here. That button there is for your 12 volt to turn on or off. As you can see, the battery's a little low at the moment. This one here is for your water pump. You can hear that just filling up the system just then. This one here shows you your levels. So at the moment, as you can see, you've got 25% of your fresh water, nothing in your waste. Press the arrow to go across, it will show you your voltages, the vehicle battery, also your leisure battery, your current battery use, your mains current and your solar current. Press again and it will bring us back round to the water. Next one, a little bit of a waste of time because it does exactly the same as the one above. You press on there, again it will give you your battery currents and it will give you your water levels. Come back round, lights, awning light, and this one here is for your dimmers. So if you look over on this side just here, If I press that and keep my finger on it, it will get progressively lighter. Press it again and it will go down. Then of course we come to your settings. So if we press on for your settings, again you have your active battery, which you can have that on smart, put it to leisure or vehicle. Your solar, so again you can choose what actually works from your solar panel. It can be charging up your vehicle battery, it can be charging up your leisure. You can again put it on smart like active and it will choose for you. Tank fill on the outside when you're filling up the fresh water. If you've got a 12 volts there, you can actually put a water pump in so it can work off an aqua roll. And then of course we have tank heaters. Now as long as you've got tank heaters fitted, by pressing the tank heaters button, it will heat up your fresh and your wastewater tanks. If we go across, again you can have your lights to come on directly, your awning light to come on when you press the buttons, and also set your dimming level just there. If we go back across, you can set your backlight for the screen and also your screen timeout. So again, once this has been on for 30 seconds, it will then knock itself off, saving you power. Go back to home, and that's your 12 volt control panel. Okay, so next we've got your heating. Now the Truma system is a gas and electric system. So what we need to do, press the button and on it comes. Now to set it, the first thing we need to do is go to your third icon because we need to pick your heat source. So if we go around to the beginning, you have gas, mix 1, mix 2, electric 1 and electric 2. So gas is obvious, you're running from gas. Electric 1 and electric 2 is one electric element or two electric elements, and that depends on where you are and how strong the electrical current is. Mix 1 and mix 2 is the same. You've got gas and one electric element or two electric elements. So we're in the showroom at the moment and we've got good electric here, so we're going to put that to electric 2 and just press on. Then we come back to the first icon, and this is where we're going to pick our temperature. So let's say we want 20 degrees. So you scroll round till you get to 20 and you press in. Now we're going to come to the fourth icon, and on there we're going to pick whether you want eco or high. Now you'll notice throughout the van you've got these vents that will push out the air, and again that's how much air you want to come out, whether you want a small amount of air or you want it to push it out a lot quicker. Once we've set that, we can then go to your hot water, which is your second icon. Press on there, you have eco and you have hot. Eco is 40 degrees, hot is 60 degrees. Now, something that is very important to put in at this point. You must fill your boiler with water before you try to heat the water. I know it's obvious, but again, it is something that's very easy to miss. So, we've now set our heating and we've got our hot water. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to take off the heat and we're going to come back to the fans, because we also have a choice of just vent. And when we press on vent, that will take us up to the number 10. And literally what that will do is, if you haven't got your heating on, it will just circulate your air around in your van. Then we come down to the bottom. This one here, press on there and we can set for your timing to come on. So if you want your heating to come on at 7 in the morning, put it for 7 o'clock just there. Press the back button. Next one here is your clock. So again, by scrolling round, you can just set your time. Then we come to your settings. So with your settings, you can offset the screen. Why you'd want to, I'm not quite sure, but you can. The temperature from degrees to Fahrenheit. The brightness of your control panel. 12 or 24-hour clock. Language, if this is all a little easy, you want to do it in French, German or Italian, feel free. Index, I'll come back to in a second. And you can reset your system. So sometimes if you have a glitch in your system, press reset, it'll come back. Right, so index. If there's a problem with your system or you've done something wrong, a warning triangle will come up here. If you press on warning triangle, it will give you a code. Now by going onto the index, it will display those codes. The whole idea behind it being basically, let's say for argument's sake, you have got an issue with your system. It means that when you can either go onto Truma's website, you can look at the codes and it will tell you what's going on, or alternatively, you could call the workshop. They will be able to look through the codes and they'll probably have a good idea of what's happening with your system before you've actually brought it in. Now, again, it can be something as simple as the fact of you've put it on for electric but you forgot to plug it into the mains, or you've got it on for gas and you haven't turned your gas on. If that is the case, sometimes it can take up to 15 minutes to reset your system as a safety precaution. And there we have your heating.
So next up we're going to do skylights, windows and this 12 volt Omni fan. I'll start off with the windows. So fairly straightforward. You just have latches just there, put it into position, tighten these up just on either side. Remember to close them when you leave sight, otherwise it can cost a little bit of money to replace. Underneath we have a blind, above we have a fly screen, which you can clip the two together so you could have ventilation and also a little bit of privacy. Onto skylight, and I'll use the one at the front here. So again we have fly screen and we have a blind. And again, all you need to do is press the button on these latches and then use the winder. So always apply just a little bit of pressure, because that always helps, just in case if it's been a warm day and stuff is contracting and expanding. It's worth doing. And you wind up until as far as you want it open. Again, remember to close it when you leave sight. Always worth making a small list to make sure you've closed everything as you should. Then your 12 volt Omni fan. So this is a fan and an extractor fan. So works as, by winding this, it opens up at the top. Once you've got to desired height, there's a little on button there. You'll see it light up. And you can choose which direction this comes in, and obviously it's fairly self-explanatory, but this will draw air into the van. And then this one here will extract, so it's ideal if you're cooking or such like. Again, once you've turned that off, always remember to close this, because you can't see it, you may forget. Wind it all the way down to as far as it will go. And again, we do have a little blind on there to keep it nice and dark.
So next we come to your Sergeant control panel, which is just here. So we have your main shutdown for your entire system on your 12 volt just here. And of course we have your fuses just here. Now we do have other fuses which are just down behind the driver's seat, just there. Then of course we have your trip switches, reverse polarity for when you're on the constant, and of course you have your charger button just here, and we have your hot water and your heating button for the electric. Now these will only come on if you're plugged into the mains. So again, you can turn them off by pressing there and there, and then we have your controls. So next we're going to come to your water system. First thing being is your boiler. Boiler is behind here, but you see this yellow switch. Now this yellow switch is for your boiler drain. If it's up in the air, as it is now, it means your boiler is open. If we flick that down, your boiler is now sealed. So when we put on the water, we can now fill up your boiler. If you forget that, you'll turn on your water pump. What will happen is the water will come directly from your fresh water tank into your boiler and pour out all over the floor. So I'm going to get Anthony to come round now. We've got your boiler sealed. We're going to look at your water system. Okay, so now what we want to do is obviously fill up your boiler, and we also want to be using the water. So for argument's sake, let's say we want to put your hot water on. So first of all, we need to fill the boiler. So we come to your 12 volt control panel here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to press the boiler switch. Oh, sorry, your water pump switch. Now you'll hear like a gurgling. Now what that's doing is it's pumping the water into your boiler. Once your boiler is full, that will knock itself off. There we go. So now of course, we've got water primed in your system. Now, if we were doing this at the start of the season and we wanted to prime your system, first thing, of course, that you have to do is make sure that your fresh water tap outside is sealed. So again, you can put the hose in and fill up your fresh water tank, and it's not going to pour straight out all over the floor. Once we've filled up your fresh water tank, next thing we do is what we've just done, flick the switch down on the boiler. Then we're going to put our water pump on, and then we're going to open up all the taps in the van. Now, as you can see at the moment, it's primed. If that wasn't primed, what would happen is it's probably going to cough and splutter at you for a couple of minutes as it's expelling the air from the system, and then it pushes it through. Once you've got to this point, that's great. Your system's now primed, you've got water coming through. If we're going to drain down at the end of the system, because the last thing you want to do at the end of the season is leave water in your system. So again, you sort of work in reverse. you'd open up your fresh water tank and you'll drain down. You'll flick your switch up on your boiler, drain down your boiler. Now, I would usually say don't have your water pump on if you've got no water in your system. But just for a few seconds, open up all your taps and let it expel that water. It just means anything that's left in the pipes you can get rid of. So again, if you have a very harsh frost, your system's clear, you've got no water in there, you're not going to damage it.
So thank you for joining us today on our handover video on this Apache 632. We have quite a back catalogue of things, so if you'd want to go and have a little look at our reviews or our handover videos, you're more than welcome to. And while you're there, if you could hit the little subscribe button that's just down there, that would be superb. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a share even. Thank you for joining us. Take care.